The cargo bay of the Stellar Harmony hummed with the steady rhythm of hyperspace travel. Anna sat cross-legged on a thermal blanket, her back against a supply crate reviewing survey data on her tablet. Across from her, Jack monitored the environmental controls, occasionally glancing at the containment unit that housed their most precious and dangerous cargo. 3 Kragath cubs, apex predators from Theta Serpentis IV, orphaned when poachers killed their mother for her bioluminescent hide. "They're restless again," Jack muttered, watching the cubs pace within their enclosure. Each was the size of a large dog, covered in midnight blue scales that shimmered with an inner light. Their eyes, 6 of them arranged in 2 rows, glowed amber in the dimness. Rows of crystalline teeth lined their powerful jaws. On their homeworld, adult Kragath could bring down prey 3 times their size. "The sedatives are wearing off faster than Dr. Yin estimated," Anna replied, not looking up from her screen. "Their metabolisms are adapting." "Great. So we've got 3 increasingly awake killing machines on a ship with minimal security protocols." Jack ran a hand through his dark hair. "Command is going to love this report." Anna finally looked up, her green eyes soft despite the situation. "They're babies, Jack. Scared babies who watch their mother die. Scared babies with retractable claws that can slice through durasteel." As if responding to his words, one of the cubs released a low thrumming sound, something between a growl and a whimper. The other 2 immediately joined in, creating a discordant harmony that made the cargo bay's metal walls vibrate. Anna set down her tablet and stood, approaching the containment unit slowly. Jack started to protest, but she held up a hand. "The enclosure is secure. I'm just going to check on them." The cubs tracked her movement with all 6 eyes each, their head crests rising in alertness. Anna knelt beside the transparent barrier, studying them. The smallest one, the female they'd nicknamed Sparks because of the way her bioluminescence flickered, pressed against the barrier, that thrumming sound intensifying. "They're cold," Anna said suddenly. "Look at their scale patterns, they're clustering for warmth." Jack checked his console. Environmental readings are within normal parameters for their species. Normal for adult Kragath, maybe. But cubs stay with their mother for the first year. She would regulate their temperature, especially during sleep cycles. Anna's expression turned determined. "We need to provide supplemental heat. Or," Jack suggested carefully, "we could just increase the enclosure temperature. That won't help with the psychological need. They're imprinting age, Jack. They need physical comfort, not just ambient warmth." Before Jack could argue, Anna had already opened the non-lethal access port, a small passage designed for feeding and basic care. It should have been too small for the cubs to fit through. Should have been. Sparks was through in seconds, followed by her brothers. They moved with liquid grace, their scales rippling with agitation and something else. Hope, perhaps, if such creatures could feel it. Jack lunged for the emergency containment field remote, but Anna's voice stopped him. "Don't, please." The 3 cubs had frozen mid-stride, their multiple eyes locked on Anna. She remained perfectly still, kneeling on the deck, her hands visible and empty. The largest cub, Storm they called him, took a tentative step forward. His claws, each the length of Anna's finger, clicked against the metal floor. "Anna," Jack whispered urgently. "They're predators. Instinct will override." "They're children," she interrupted softly, still not moving. "And children know when someone is trying to help them." Storm reached Anna first, his head crest fully extended, testing the air with the sensitive thermal receptors along his jaw. He circled her once, twice. Sparks and the 3rd cub, Whisper named for his near-silent movements, followed their brother's lead. Then, to Jack's absolute astonishment, Sparks did something he'd never seen documented in any xenobiological study. She pressed her scaled head against Anna's knee and made a sound, a soft, chirping trill that dissolved into that low thrum again. Anna smiled, tears gathering in her eyes. "Hey there, little one, I know you miss her." She carefully shrugged off her jacket, a thick thermal-lined piece of equipment designed for hostile environment exploration. As she spread it across her lap, the cubs understood immediately. Sparks was first, crawling onto the jacket and then burrowing against Anna's side. Storm followed, then Whisper, the 3 of them arranging themselves in a pile that pressed against Anna's torso and lap. Anna slowly, carefully, wrapped the jacket around them, creating a makeshift den. The cub's thrumming intensified briefly, then began to slow, deepening into something rhythmic and peaceful. "Anna," Jack started, his hand still hovering over the containment remote. "I'm fine," she assured him quietly. "Watch." The bioluminescence in the cub's scales was fading, dimming from bright amber to a soft pulsing glow. Their multiple eyelids began to close in sequence, first the outer protective layer, then the middle, finally the inner. Their breathing synchronized, their small bodies relaxing completely. Jack slowly lowered the remote, his tactical training warring with what his eyes were seeing. "This is insane. They could, but they won't," Anna said, her voice barely above a whisper. One hand rested gently on the jacket, feeling the warmth of the sleeping cubs beneath. "Because right now they don't need to be predators. They just need to be safe." "You're crying," Jack observed, his own voice rough. "So are you." He was. Jack wiped his eyes, shaking his head in wonder. "The xenobiology teams are never going to believe this. Kragath are supposed to be impossible to domesticate. They're classified as hostile extreme." "We're not domesticating them," Anna corrected, stroking the jacket gently. "We're just being what they need right now. Tomorrow we'll get them to the conservation facility. Their own kind will raise them. But tonight," she looked down at the sleeping cubs, their scales now glowing with the soft, gentle light of deep contentment. "Tonight they just need someone to keep them warm." Jack sat back down at his console, keeping one eye on the scanner readings, the other on Anna and her unlikely charges. "You know this changes everything, right? If humans can bond with Kragath at the imprint stage." "One thing at a time," Anna murmured. Sparks had begun to snore, a sound like distant thunder. "Right now, let's just let them sleep." In the cargo bay of the Stellar Harmony, as it sailed through the void between stars, 3 of the galaxy's most dangerous predators slept peacefully under a human's jacket, and for the first time since losing their mother, they were home.